Alright, use the information diagram and proof to fill in the blanks. Given that ABCD is a parallelogram, prove the diagonals segment AC and segment BD bisect each other. Alright, so there's only 2 blanks in this, so that is kind of a fresh breath air. And right here, I'm just going to jump to the first one. It says, then since angle 9 and angle 11 are blank, it can be concluded that angle 9 is congruent to angle 11. I'm going to ask myself, what's the relationship between angle 9 and angle 11? And notice they are right here, angle 9, angle 11. They are opposite each other of this cross. If you were to draw that out, that looks like an X. That's my indicator that they are vertical angles. So I guess you could write that in your notes as if you can make an X and they are on opposite sides of each other, they would be vertical angles. So the first blank is vertical angles. So this relies really heavily on knowing your angle relationships. So if you want, you can review those back in the course. Okay, and then it says, then applying the definition of blank, it can be stated that segment AE is congruent to segment CE, which makes E the midpoint of segment AC. There's not a lot of context clues in that statement, so I'm going to go to the one beforehand and see if there's anything that we can conclude from that. So it says, therefore, using the angle side angle congruence theorem, it can be stated that triangle AEB is congruent to triangle CED. So triangle AEB, right here, is congruent to triangle CED. And I'm going to notice that segment AE and segment CE are both sides. There's segment CE right here and segment AE right here. They're both sides of the triangles that they just stated that they were congruent. So if you apply the definition of congruent triangles, because that's what we just stated they were. We just stated they were congruent. So we would apply the definition of congruent triangles to state that these two sides are congruent because they are corresponding parts in that triangle. So this blank 2 would be congruent triangles. And if me explaining that is still kind of pulling it out of thin air, you could go through and check to see if it is each of these, like definition of supplementary angles. No, that doesn't relate to segment. Parallel lines. No, that doesn't relate to them being the same length. Parallel lines just means that they will never intersect. So you could go through and do kind of elimination right there if my explanation wasn't clear.